Hey everyone, it's pretty serious today. Last night, Outcome Memories got shelved indefinitely. If you want me to be honest, while the game states it's not officially over, I have a very hard time imagining it bouncing back. I'd absolutely love for it to, but everyone who was working on the project is now either pulling out in some manner or is revealing everything they were working on for the game. This type of behavior is really just tied to projects that might as well be over. For me, I'm both saddened and incredibly disappointed in a lot of the ownership of this game, as well as several key team members involved, because this whole situation is kinda just high school tier drama. This entire thing happened because, once again, the team struggled to have any form of communication skills, and also kinda just generally social skills. Instead of instantly going for the nuclear option in some sort of exposed video that had no real screenshots or anything to it that I know of and was way too mean-spirited, why not just actually talk to Raven? If Raven was so hard to work with and being mean during development or something, why not just confront Raven directly? Why not just actually talk out this issue as it's happening? I assume some talking was done, given Raven's own statement on the matter, but I mean more so during the tripwire phase and all that stuff. Why release this video when Raven has already largely pulled out from the project and the fires were finally beginning to settle? Especially since all the people encouraging Altaz to make this statement very clearly knew it was going to cause some kind of backlash. If you foresaw that happening, why didn't anyone stop and go, maybe this isn't a good idea? I'm really not going to tell you how to feel about this situation, and you don't have to agree with me on anything I'm about to say. I think the development team for this game is probably just really mentally unwell. After half a year of being scrutinized by one of the harshest communities I've ever been a part of in almost my 2 decades on the internet, that being the EXE community, I can't exactly blame them for being emotional, immature messes after all that time. This isn't me defending or justifying their behavior, but I think it would also be just irresponsible for me to say I don't understand how someone's behavior and mentality could become as weird as it got. I absolutely feel bad for the mental health of everyone involved in this situation because I can't imagine they'll be in their right minds after months of dealing with everything they've had to deal with. But it's also completely frustrating to see them really just lack the skills to solve their interpersonal drama without making it this really big event, almost. The final nail in the coffin for this game was largely just immature high school drama. I'm pretty disappointed, to say the least. To say this situation was also the sole cause of the game's death is also just not true. This has been kind of a long time coming at this point, a death by 1,000 cuts situation. I think we were already at the breaking point after everything I've been seeing the past few weeks regarding version 0.2 and the community feedback to it. I think any incident on the scale of the Altaz Raven situation would have probably done the same to the game. Let's talk about the game itself now. I'm going to condense a lot of what I had to say in other videos into this section. I'll start by saying that a lot of people love to hate Outcome Memories and its gameplay structure. I personally really liked the game. It was absolutely flawed, but I found it to be really fun too. The emphasis on cooperative play is absolutely not for everybody, and I completely understand that whenever anyone talked to me about the game and didn't like it for whatever reasons, really. I understand why someone wouldn't like this game, I personally did. There's also just the fact that a lot of things in this game are really just not that well thought out, even as much as I do like it. It's very clear that the team didn't know what they were doing a lot of the time when it comes to the finer nuances of designing an asymmetric game. But that's also part of the reason I at least appreciated the effort. The human error behind this project is something I found almost endearing. I like seeing the human being behind the work and things, especially now more than ever. Not only could I see that with the way this game played and felt, jank and all, but I also saw the passion for Sonic and EXE content in the game, and I also really enjoyed that. Whenever I play a game in general or experience some kind of art, I like to see the human being behind it. I like to try and interpret their thoughts, their feelings, and their emotions, and what the people making it are like. I felt that with this game. When it comes to the actual design of the characters and gameplay, something I deeply appreciated is that this game really helped you get into the headspace and fantasy of a character. Sonic is a character that's largely about heroism. His dodge meter, his drop dash, his high speed, his peel out, all work towards this fantasy of being one of the most well-equipped in the situation they find themselves in with Outcome Memories. One of my favorite experiences with this game back when it was brand new, I was playing Amy Rose, the exit ring opens, and 2011X was hot on my tail. I wasn't going to make it in this situation until Sonic peeled out, picked me up, and carried me to the escape with 2011X helpless to do anything about it. It was at that moment I almost found myself in the shoes of Amy Rose from the actual series and her deep appreciation for who Sonic is. On the complete opposite side of the spectrum, Eggman's survivalist and selfish gameplay absolutely suits who he is. He's a narcissist who only cares about himself and his creations. Metal Sonic is one of the strongest characters in the world of Sonic. There's a reason that every fight he's lost in recent classic or modern canon, he's almost always being consistently jumped by multiple people. He's that hard to put down. And you really feel that in this game. Metal has so much effective HP and some of the strongest abilities in the game, full stop. A lot of people think he's weak to being tunneled, but if you ask me, a Metal who knows what he's doing is one of the hardest kills to get in the game. And playing as Metal and Eggman creates a unique dynamic. While you absolutely do care about every other survivor in a match, you care about each other far more than anyone else. The survivors Eggman cares about the most are the ones that are capable of benefiting him through healing or something. This element of outcome memories and its gameplay design was my favorite thing about it, really. I like that this game was designed in a way that heavily incentivized you to act like the character actually would. I like that the game really got you into a character's headspace to play them effectively. Metal's fearless aggression, Eggman's selfish preservation, Sonic's heroism, Knuckles' bravery, all that stuff. I love that Sonic can't peel out Eggman and Metal, not only because it'd simply be too strong for those characters if he could, but both of these characters have proven they're too stubborn and prideful to let Sonic save them, especially Metal. To anyone looking to make any form of ASIM based on outcome memories, whether it be Mario, Sonic, Kirby, or really anything with a strong cast of characters people love, that's something I would really like to see done with those games. People who should play a survivor could be incentivized to behave as that character would, and be rewarded for it. I don't really care about balance or whatever, I care about fun, and I find that fun as a fan of these things. Beyond that, the visuals for this game are utterly fantastic, outside of just the harsh, dull colors. I love the character designs, and I have to say how excellent of a job they did translating some of the 2000s and modern characters into the game. And the music, most of us already know how fun it is. I personally really love so many tracks in this game. Some of my personal favorites are Friends No More, Wilted Blossom, both Break Free and Don't Blink, Silver's Last Man Standing theme, and of course, Feel the Fury. If this game does get permanently shelved, I hope there's at least like a roleplay game that gets released or something. I think there's a lot of younger players that would really enjoy that, and personally, I'd just love to walk around these maps as one of the game's characters, and finally just take the time to properly absorb the atmosphere outside of the pressure of a match. A lot of people are asking themselves what they do now, or what's going to happen to ASIMs as a whole. Can you believe that some people think ASIMs as a whole are dying because of the situation? I think that's just a very misguided view. No, just because Outcome Memories is indefinitely shelved, and honestly probably just fully over, doesn't mean that ASIM games on Roblox are dying. There's still a lot of games that are right around the corner. Pillar Chase 2's Recode is only a few months away at this point, and the development team is working harder to be more and more professional and treat their community well. People have their opinions on the Recode itself, but just know that I'll be there for the release, and I'm very excited for it personally. Terror Realm is also a game making more and more waves and is regarded as many as a very fun ASIM game. There's also the Catastrophes. I hope that game does come out, and it's pretty nice in carrying on that Outcome Memories spirit for a series that absolutely deserves representation within the Roblox ASIM scene. I get why it doesn't already have it, because, you know. I hope you guys also haven't forgotten about Mind's Hollow either. If you're complaining about games being stale right now, you better be supporting this one. There's plenty of other ASIM games to look forward to, it's just a matter of waiting right now, unfortunately. Now, listen, by Roblox player standards, I'm a pretty old guy. Let me sit down with you and tell you this, that if you're only playing ASIMs on Roblox, I think now more than ever is the perfect time to branch out. Start your Battlegrounds arc, go play TSB, JJS, something like that, and learn those games and how they function. Try other Roblox games. No Escape is a game that I'll eventually make like an hour-long review of, so go ahead and play that one. Try some tower defense games. Why not go back to some bandit beaters even? Just do something other than ASIM games, because ASIM games can really wear down on your mentality if they're all you play. And I think playing other games and being familiar with them can also just end up making you better at ASIMs too. As for Outcome Memories itself, I have a very hard time imagining this game bouncing back, as I've said before. Again, so many characters have been pulled, and key members that were playing pretty major roles have left the team. I really don't know what's going to happen or what's going on, whether Sobi is still the main key holder, and as such they'd be required to come back for the game to come back. Who knows, really? Now, unless anything major happens within the next few days or whatever, I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. Outcome memories will probably stay pretty popular for a while, but naturally the player count might start to dip as time goes on. This game is held together by sticks and glue, and assuming the game suffers some form of code decay, the game will start to fall off faster. There's a lot of Sonic.exe games in the work right now, a lot of which are directly inspired by outcome memories. One of these games will probably end up filling the power vacuum that'll be left by outcome memories, assuming outcome memories doesn't come back and once it eventually falls off. However, from my own personal experience and observations, OG games can persist for a really long time as long as they simply have some sort of background support. TSB hasn't had a content update in forever, really. It's a little ridiculous at this point. Yet it's still tens of thousands of players ahead of Jujutsu Shenanigans, which is the second largest Battlegrounds. If Outcome Memories does return, I think it'd be able to find its footing even with other Sonic.exe games in the sphere, you know? A game like Outcome Memories isn't really competing with stuff like Forsaken and Pillar Chase, but rather just Sonic and EXE stuff. So, I don't know. We'll just have to see, but as much as I'd love for this game to keep going, I wouldn't be shocked if it doesn't, and I'm expecting a different game to end up taking its place at this point. I just don't know when that'll happen, and if the game does come back, I don't think it'll get overtaken in that case. So, as for me and this channel, my tier list video is almost finished anyways, so I'll upload that once it's done. That'll probably be it for Outcome Memories, maybe 1 or 2 videos, but as long as the game is shelved, I probably won't be making too many videos dedicated to it after the tier list. I love this game, flaws and all. I also, no pun intended, have a lot of memories I made with this game. This game has done a lot for me, I'm extremely grateful for that. This game helped me finally have some sort of connection to other creators in the scene, people who I watched before I became a YouTuber myself, but it also helped me reignite my passion for the mainline Sonic series. And of course, I'm now very familiar with many things Sonic.exe, and hey, honestly, I think he's pretty alright. If this game somehow does manage to bounce back from this, I'll be there to make videos on it again. Until then, I'll take this time to work on some general Roblox platform guides I've wanted to make, as well as some reviews similar to the Doom by Fate review, and maybe some other game reviews that aren't ASIMs. If those sound nice, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and all that stuff. I'd love to have you around for that. If not, that's okay. Outcome Memories being shelved is absolutely a shame, and I was very saddened once I heard the news. Outcome Memories is probably the largest project the EXE community has likely ever seen, and it absolutely breached containment outside of it as well. The most I can ask of you all is to just take care of yourselves and just do what we can as a community to learn from the situation, whether you be from the EXE community, the ASIM community, or anything like that. Just know there's plenty of things to look forward to in the Roblox ASIM community at large. There's always things to look forward to. Take care.